called as Karma Bhumi. Karma Bhumi means there we have to do action. Nobody can say, I don't want to perform any action. I just want to be. Even breathing is an action. Eating is an action. Sleeping is an action. Therefore, it's not possible for anyone to say that I just don't want to do anything over here. Because even if you don't want to do, the very nature of your body is such that it will do. It will eat food, it will digest food, then you have to take it out, then you have to breathe. All these actions, the blood is flowing, heart is beating, lungs are respirating, skin or things are turning into from tight to loose, the bones are growing. All these are actions only. So therefore, it's not possible for anybody to escape action. But there are two types of actions. One are involuntary actions and others are voluntary actions. Involuntary actions are which? Heart beating, or your stomach digesting the food, or your lungs oxygenating the blood, or your body growing, cells multiplying, you are becoming tall from small boy to a man to an old man. These are involuntary actions. They'll happen whether you want it or you don't want it. You can't stop them. Nor you can do them. If you think you will do your heart beating, you say today I will take charge of my body. Here onwards I will decide when the heart should beat, when it should not beat. Or I am now going to digest my food. Now I am going to convert all the deoxygenated blood into oxygenated blood. Now I am going to tell my body to grow. You can't do anything. Even so to say, a dead nail does not listen to you. Does it listen to you? Don't grow, you tell the nail. Next morning it has grown again. Again and again you have to cut. There is nothing that we have a control on this body. So these are all involuntary actions, which is not under our control. They grow as per the law of the nature. But then there are those which are voluntary actions, which we can do as we want to do. Like seeing something or not seeing something, hearing something or not hearing something, eating some kind of food or avoiding some kind of food, smelling certain things and avoiding certain things, touching certain things, not touching certain things, going to certain places, not going to certain places, speaking certain things, not speaking certain things, listening to certain things and avoiding, thinking about certain things and avoiding thinking about certain things. Also, getting attached to certain things and not getting attached to certain things. All these are voluntary actions. It is in your control. Nobody can go and say, actually I never wanted to see, hear, touch, smell, taste, just it's happened. Why? Because it's all involuntarily, it happened as if. That is why Arjuna asks Krishna, so much Bhagavad Gita you have taught me. But one thing I realize, Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. He says, by what reason does man commit sins? Even though he does not want to commit, yet as if forced to commit. Why does it happen? And then Krishna says, Kamayesha Krodayesha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. This Rajoguna is the reason for man to commit sins. This thought of selfishness, self-interest, ambitions, desires, to prove something, to become better than others. These kind of thoughts drive man to commit all the sins. So tamasic people don't commit too much sins because they are only bothered about the involuntary actions. Food should come so that I can eat, because body needs food, that's about it. And the basic things of life. But this kama yesha krodha yesha, this kama and krodha are the ones which are rajasic qualities. And these are the ones which make people commit sins, is what Krishna says. And both are born out of Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. And Mahashana Mahapapma. He says these are of the nature. Mahashana means insatiable. Desires are insatiable. And Mahapapma make you commit sins. So this desire and anger are like the twins who will make you commit sins, and they're insatiable. Etad vidhi vairinam. These are the two biggest enemies of yours, Krishna says. These two you keep under check. Your desires and the anger that comes out of not having been able to fulfill those desires. But even the idea, it should be this way, my way, as I want, as I like, these are also desires. These are not the physical desires of eating, sleeping, tasting, smelling, touching, moving, all that. But these are desires of the mind. I should be recognized, I should be praised, and if I have made a policy or a rule, the whole organization must follow. Whether there is a head or tail to that policy, nobody cares. I have said it, that's it. So these kind of ego-based desires are also there. So there is a dehabhimana desires, and there is manobhimana desires, the desires of the mind, power, authority, recognition, fame. These are also desires which are very dangerous. You may find people who are not very involved in physical this thing. They wear simple clothes, eat simple food, sleep on time, wake up on time, go about doing their seva. But their minds are not free from desires. Their individuality, I, that mind part of the desire also is kama, krodha only. So generally kama is considered as something which is to do with physical body. No. It's all originating from mind only. Manomulam. So one has to keep a check on both. That is when one can slowly withdraw and be able to lead a better life. So physically desisting from or absenting from engaging with the senses, like yesterday we so much emphasis was on horses and the senses and the sense pleasures. Today I am emphasizing on the thought that even if you have withdrawn all your senses and sitting in a cold cave, yet in your mind there is one thought going on. All the people should recognize me as a great yogi. Hundreds of years down the line, I should be remembered as somebody who did so much of sadhana, contributed so much to the society, wrote so many books and scriptures. People should read and repeat and glorify me. Even that desire is a desire. And that is very, very sticky desire. And therefore we have to always keep an eye on where our horses are going, where this mind is taking us. We have to be very, very careful or watchful all the time. And our buddhi is the only hope and only help we have. If buddhi listens to the Atman, if buddhi also has gone bad, it doesn't care what we say. It has gone durbuddhi or tamo buddhi, rajo buddhi. Then what will happen? It will only spoil the mind. Mind will spoil the horses. Everything is spoiled. And your journey will be a misery. You will not know how to proceed. In fact, you will be going in the wrong road. That is worse. So this is how the world is presently caught in this problem of senses and the mind. And their buddhis are not purified. Their education of aparavidya hasn't trained them how to control their mind and senses. It's so important that this time, at this age, you must learn this. Because if you don't learn, even if sattvic desire is left in you, tamasic desire left, or rajasic desire left, the desire will make you hang around like a ghost. Even though you have done enough tapa, enough brahmacharya, enough shraddha all your life, at the end of it, this is what will be the fate. The mind will be lingering around at that place. Many people come and say, Swami, I think our grandfather who died is still there in our home. Please tell him to leave. So we do shraddha and all these things to tell that grandfather, in this birth you were my grandfather, but now you are free from this body. Please go away. Don't be here. But the grandfather, if he is so attached, he will take another birth and come back in the same family. And then he will become the grandson of his own. And then from there he is back to... So they don't leave this place. They keep coming back. That's why Kathopanishad says, Kamabhir jayate. Because of our desires we are born. Where tatra, wherever we have thought of going, that is where our bodies are born again. And we again enter the bodies and stay in that same place in different forms. Therefore, coming to this idea of controlling the horses, controlling the mind, the reins, using a good buddhi to help the chariot move in the right direction is a skill that you must learn early, before all the distractions of the world come and sit on you. Before that, you should have learned this skill. If you want to swim in the river, you must learn how to swim with the help of an instructor. And then once you learn swimming, you can always go and swim anywhere. But without having learned, if you jump into water, saying, I know how to swim, I saw some people were throwing hands and legs, I will also do that, you will not be able to swim. There is a technique. So this is a technique of leading a beautiful life, a good life. This is the technique, this whole analogy, this simile, this example of a horse, chariot, and the mind as the reins, buddhi as the driver, and you as yourself as the Atman. This is a technique of how to lead a good life, happy life, and at the end, merge in that ultimate divine knowledge and not be affected, bothered by the world and worldly things. So if you continue in this technique, you go to the 5th shloka. It says, Yastu avijnanavan bhavati ayuktena manasa sada tasyendriyani avashyani duštashva iva sarathehe. It says, for that person, yastu, for whom, means for that Atman who is sitting inside the chariot. Avijnanavan bhavati. Avijnavan means they don't have proper discrimination. The buddhi is not having proper discrimination. Buddhi's another name is Vijnana. Therefore, avijnana means doesn't know how to discriminate, how to decide, how to correctly choose. Mudhamate is foolish buddhi. What happens to them? Ayuktena manasa sada, and also for whom the buddhi is avijnanavan, and also ayuktena manasa, the mind also is not a good mind. Yukta mind means a good mind. Ayuktena manasa sada. Mind also is very, very, like the reins are already cracking and they're breaking and so old that it can collapse any time. So that kind of a person whose buddhi is non-discriminating, whose mind is not steady, master the mind, who is not master the mind, what will happen to them? Tasya indriyani avashyani. Their horses, the indriyas will be out of control. Such a person's indriyas will be out of control. Because horses on their own won't do anything. Unless you pull and give them command or instruction, then they won't know what to do with themselves. Left to themselves, they'll run whichever direction they feel like running. So mind has to control the indriyas, and mind should be in turn controlled by a discriminating buddhi. The buddhi without viveka and mind without any steadiness, how can they control the indriyas is the answer. And dushta ashva iva sarathe. So those horses are called as dushta. Of that particular sarathi, which is the buddhi, all the horses are bad horses. They don't listen to the mind. Like sometimes we feel that our indriyas are not listening to us. I didn't want to do it, but I ended up doing it, as if my indriyas did not listen. No, your indriyas did not listen because you have not developed purity and steadiness and strength of mind. You have not practiced that. And also because you have not practiced viveka in your life. What is right, what is wrong, what is shreyas, what is prayas, you have never practiced. Therefore, neither your buddhi has discrimination, nor your mind has any strength. So your indriyas naturally are on their own, out of control. And that is the precise reason why you will meet with ruin. So it's quite simple to understand. We have already heard all these things. The 6th one. Now it's the other way around. Yastu vijnanvan bhavati yuktena manasa sada tasyendriyani vashyani sadashva iva sarathe. So he says yes to indriyani, but for whom? Whose intellect is vijnanvan. Vijnanvan means completely discriminating. A good intellect is able to know what is right, what is wrong. Dharma, karya, pravritti, nivritti, bhaya, abhaya, moksham, bandham, that is yaveti, sa buddhi, satvaki. So that kind of a buddhi which is discriminating correctly for that person, and also yuktena manasa sada, mind is also connected to the buddhi correctly with steadiness and purity. It's not a weak rein, you pull once and it will snap. It's a very strong, steady mind. The one who has these both, tasyendriyani vashyani, for him, the indriyani, all the senses are vashyani, means under control. Because if they misbehave, you can just tug on the reins, and that is, you tell the mind, control your eyes, see that what eye is seeing, see what your ears are hearing. They just one tug, and ears, eyes will become under control. So that is the idea, that Manasa also has to be completely yukta, capable and connected to the buddhi. It listens to the buddhi. Tasyendriyani vasyani, for them the indriyas will be under control, and sadashva iva sarathe, for that sarathi will be known to have good horses. Without good horses, you can't undertake a journey. If you have everything in your chariot, you got the driver, you got the reins, you got yourself, horses are not there, then it won't move. So they're so important, indriyas, but more important than having indriyas is having indriyas under control. To have indriyas under control, you should have a very, very capable mind. Mind that is very strong and listens to the buddhi. And then you should have a buddhi which should be very good buddhi, discriminating buddhi. And then only your journey of life will be smooth and it will go to the right place. Otherwise, you'll end up in the wrong place. So this is the idea of these two shloka. And then what is the result of such a thing? If suppose your mind is well connected and buddhi is well established, discriminating, and horses are under control, what happens? And if it is not so, what else happens? About that is the another next two shlokas. The seventh shloka. Yastu avijnanvan bhavati amanaskah sadashuchihi na sa tat padamapnoti samsaram cha adigacchati. He says, yes, to same way the first shloka, but as he said, that one for whom avijnanvan buddhi is there, non-discriminating or wrong discrimination is there in the buddhi. Amanaskaha. Amanaskaha means that mind is also no good mind. And sada ashuchihi. Why it is not a good mind? Because sada, always ashuchihi, is dirty mind. Thinks only of dirty things. For that person, buddhi is non-discriminating, mind is not pure and not a good mind, uncontrolled and not listening to buddhi. This kind of mind who has, what happens to them? Nasa, he will not, tat padam apnoti, he will not attain that state, tat, that, padam, that state. Which padam? Remember in the previous slokas he had told, what did he tell? Tat padam sangrahami bravimi etad om ityetad. He told that I will tell you about that status. Sarve veda yat padam amananti tapansi sarvani yat vadanti. Remember the previous sloka when he asks, tell me anyatra dharma, anyatra asmat krita kritad, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha yat tat pashyati tadvada. He tells to Nachiketa is being praised by Yama. You are such a good student, Satyabdhiti and all that. He says, fine, thank you very much, but please tell me that, which is beyond dharma, dharma, and the cause and effect, and past and future. What is that? That one you teach me, that one. Then he says, Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti, that which all the Vedas talk about, that state, that exalted state of existence which all the Vedas, Tapansi Sarvani Yat Vadanti, all the people do tapas, for whose sake? People practice brahmacharya. Tat padam, he says, that padam, sangraham. In the short way, in a brief way, let me tell you now, it is Om. That is what the shloka was there. And then he talked about Om for some time and then finally said, see, it is not easy to understand with the intellect, nor by discourses, nor by listening to it in many ways. The one who wants it desperately, badly, and not anything else, to him this reveals. We learned that. So this is that padam about which Yama is telling. And remember, if the last chapter he also said, how can you attain this? Those who have ashanta manasa, those who are asamahitaha, those who are ashantaha, those who are navirto discharitaha, for them this is not there. So in this chapter he is teaching Nachiketa what? To attain that padam for which you have come here, you have desired for, leaving everything else aside, you only have asked for it. which is attained only when you stop bad conduct, when you keep your senses and mind under control, and your mind should be samahita mind, focused mind, and also the impatience to know the truth should not be there in you. Then only you will get to know. So now see, Amma is teaching him. That's why how to now avirito discharita, that is the first. It won't be attained by those who are engaged in misconduct or bad conduct. So this is what he is telling. See, why it's important to control these horses, mind and buddhi, because you have asked for how to reach that state of Atman, how to realize that you are Atman. You have asked for that. This is the answer. What if your buddhi is not the discriminating one? If your mind is uncontrollable and dirty, then tatpadam na apnoti. You will not be able to attain that highest exalted state of Brahman. So what will you attain? Samsaram cha adhigacchati. Samsara, this thing, this whole material world, the physical world that we call as samsara. And what happens? Samsaram cha adhigacchati. Adhigamana means to go down. So they will go to samsara, downwards they will go. So it's not that there are two physical planes. Idea is that from a higher state of supreme bliss of the knowledge of self, they will go down to a lower state of samsara, where they will go through day-to-day lives of suffering and pain and misery. One day happy, one day sad, one day excited, one day depressed. This is their state. For whose mind is not under control and pure, whose buddhi does not discriminate, and whose horses are very bad. Dushtashva. For them that is the fate. Then he says, the other way around, what is the other way around? Yastu vijnanvan bhavati, samanaskah sadashuchihi, satu tatpadamapnoti, yasmat bhuyo na jayate. See the other way around. If suppose the person is the other way around, yastu vijnanvan bhavati, whose buddhi is vijnanvan, that is discriminating one, pure buddhi, sattva buddhi. That person becomes samanaska, of a good mind. Mind is also under control and it's steady. Sada shuchihi, always pure also. The mind is pure and satu tat padamabnoti. He will attain that higher exalted state of existence. What is that higher exalted state of existence? That state of pure knowledge of one's own self as Brahman, as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, not defined by the body, not limited by the mind. That state where one really feels that he is one with the supreme consciousness and therefore is unaffected by Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, Alabha, Jaya, Ajaya, remains steady, pure. That state is attained by whom? The one who has kept his mind under control and kept it pure. I told you the strength of the mind is in two ways. One, its purity. Second is its steadiness. A pure mind but not steady is of no use. A steady mind but not pure is also of no use. A pure mind which is not steady is useless. Very good mind, but one moment he cannot focus on anything, cannot do anything because mind is so always scattered. It jumps like monkey. But very good boy, means no harm to anyone, doesn't carry any hatred or ill feelings for anyone. But unfortunately, his mind cannot focus on anything. Anything you teach, he forgets. What is the use of all that goodness? The other part of the mind is steadiness. Very focused mind, very sharp mind, but impure mind. This is why I always tell, ability without nobility is dangerous. Nobility without ability is useless. So this is what the idea of both Samanaska and Sadashuchi. Samanaska means steady mind. Sadashuchi means pure mind. So purity and steadiness are the nobility and ability of the mind. One without the other will not be useful. So you have to practice both of them. So Samanaska Sadashuchi is the idea of mind. Satu tatpadamamnoti, that person attains that highest exalted state of existence. Yasmad, going where? Bhuyo na jayate. The next birth will not happen again. To be born again in this earth won't happen to that person who has attained. See, once you have passed the exam, you will not come back to the same class. Why should you? Because you have graduated, you have learned, you have got very good marks, cleared your exams, got your certificate. You don't have to come back to the same class unless you want to come back as a teacher. Why should you come back to the same class? So those people, despite having such pure mind, buddhi, again you see them in the world, what are they doing? They're not learning, they're teaching others. Somebody asked me whether after all these things there is no rebirth. Then what about those masters and other people? Why do they keep coming here? Are they Brahmagyanis or are they not yet Brahmagyanis? I said they might be Brahmagyanis, but they come back to run the school. They come back to be the warden, the principal, the teachers, so that other children benefit from them. They don't come back to learn. Some child asks, "Where are you going?" to an old man. "I'm going to school." "Oh, you're not done with your school still? You're so old." "Which class?" "Sixth class." "Sixth class still? You're 60-year-old." "No, I'm going to school, sixth class, not to learn, to teach." That is the difference between you in 10-year-old and I being 60-year-old. There is a difference. So these people come back into the world, those who have learned only to assist others. Sa tarati, sa lokan starayanti. They will cross and they will take others also across. Shanta, vahanto, nivasanti santo, vasantavat lokahita charantaha. Tirna, swayam bhima bhava arnava. Janana hetu nanyanapi tarayantaha. These people are those who are peaceful, who are great, who know their self. But like the Vasanta Ritu, the spring season which comes to make the world beautiful, they come to make others' lives joyful. And though they have crossed, Swayam Tirna, they have already crossed this ocean. Which one ocean? Bhima Bhava Arnava. Huge and expansive ocean, very difficult to cross. Such a dangerous and very vast ocean of samsara, means all the desires and all kinds of things they have crossed. Then what are they doing here? They are here to help others cross. Janana hetu, for the others. So without any reason for themselves, without any selfishness, janana, for the others' sake they come. And they help them to cross over, tarayanta, they take them across. So they are the instructors, they are the teachers, they are the guides for the rest of the humanity. So that is what is the idea of jnana dana, that the one who has learnt, it's his bounden duty to share the knowledge with others. It is too selfish to keep the knowledge with yourself. It is not the right approach. That's why they say, apurvah kopi koshayam vidyate tava bharati vyayate vardhate nityam kshayamayati sanchayat. Vidya is such a treasure of the Devi Bharati, the mother goddess Saraswati. The treasure of her is such that the more you spend, the more it increases. The more you hoard, the more it diminishes. So Jnana Dana, the people who have attained this idea how to control buddhi, mind and senses, and those who have experienced that ultimate exalted state of supreme consciousness, now it's their duty. This duty is given to them by whom? By the divine. To go and do this for others. Who others? Those who have still not realized this truth. For their sake, go back to the same class and teach. But this time, don't be on that side of the class, be on this side of the class and teach. And help others cross over. Because you have crossed, you know the experience of what it is to cross. And since you have the knowledge, the experience, you are the best person to teach. Somebody may have knowledge but not the experience, then he cannot teach. Therefore, both one who has the knowledge and also the experience of that knowledge is the befitting teacher, is the right teacher, Ascharya Vakta. Such a person's job is to go back and teach others. But provided the others are also interested in learning, Kushala Asya Labdha. If Kushala Labdha is not there, whatever one-way communication won't work. Communication happens between two, not one. One has to speak, other has to listen. That is communication. Therefore, this communication of knowledge should be by a teacher who has already gone through all the experiences of life and understood and crossed over. And now he comes back to the same school, into this world, only to teach others. So don't misunderstand their life and existence as those who have Adhigachati lives. No, they have not come here because they are bound to come here, or they have not come here because they have been cursed to come here or punished to come here. They have come here only to take this responsibility of helping others. But see the sacrifice of such people. See the sacrifice of such people. They have to go back and repeat the same lessons. And they have to behave as if they are meant for that class, though they are much more knowledgeable. They have to cocoon themselves in the same physical body and mind, only for the sake of helping others. The other day I was telling, when Abraham Lincoln was passing by in his car and he saw a small piglet stuck in the mud and squealing, he stopped the car, got out of the car, ran to the piglet, got into the muck, pulled that piglet out and put it aside, then only he came back to the car. Unless he gets into the slush, how can he pull the piglet out? Like that, these people who have already realized, they come back into the slush of the world. They don't mind it. Why? Because there are people who are stuck like that little piglet squealing. Save us, save us, save us. And this Jnani cannot just tell the car person, let's go ahead, don't worry about those pigs and piglets. No, he stops the car, says, let us worry, let us help. Otherwise, you will suffer all your life thinking you are the body and the mind. 30 days of Paravidya Shibira, very nice. Our next 330 days, suffer. It can't be that way. Therefore, it is important. Now, if you learn this Vidya, what can you do for us? You can teach it to 10 others, you can help more. That is the idea of Jnanadana. You cross and then you help others cross. You cross and say, I am done, so I am happy, I don't care. That is not the right attitude. They must help others by whatever way. Some people are capable of helping by speaking and counseling others. Okay, do that much at least. Some people are capable of more, like building institutions and taking many, many more. So do that. Do something, but don't just sit selfishly after having attained that knowledge. It's not right, it's not appropriate conduct. So most of the masters are like small boats. They take 200 people, whatever the capacity of the boat is. They can't take more than that. They can take care of so much. So they build a small ashram or they go about talking to a group of people. But avatar is like a big ship. The power is far more superior. In a ship, you see, you can take so many people. Like that. But ship has many compartments. 4th class, 3rd class, 2nd class, 1st class. Arti, Artharti, Jignasu, Jnani compartments are there. You decide which compartment you want to go and sit in. You will be taken care of, provided you surrender to the God in whichever way. Arti, going and stretching hand in front of others, come and stretch in front of God, that is still better. Artharti, always desiring for this thing, thinking for oneself, okay, desire for others' sake, samasta loka, that is also better. Jignasu, who want to know the truth of life and not interested in the worldly matters, please come, you also have a place. And Jnanis, who realize who they are so that they can help, they also can come. All of them can come, but provided is that what kind of journey do you want to undertake? So avatar is capable of taking lots of people across. However, the quality of your journey depends on you, not on the ship. Whether you are an Arti, Artharti, Jignasu, Jnani, based on that you will understand the knowledge. For that sake, I keep telling, if you want to have the best ride, upper deck ride, be a Jnani. But if you don't have that kind of idea, only if you're worried about your stomach, then you will be put into 4th class compartment where the kitchen is. Sit and cook and eat there. Because that's all you're interested in. You will never have a beautiful view of the ocean. You will never enjoy the breeze of the sea. You will never enjoy the wonderful scenarios of sunrise and sunsets. You will never enjoy. So you will not fully enjoy the mission of an avatar if you are an Arti, Artharti. Only if you are a Jnani will you really, really understand the heart of an avatar, heart of a guru, and that's when you truly enjoy the Vidya. So the quality of your experience with an avatar, with a guru, it is not dependent on the guru, it is dependent on you, based on your level of evolution, your thought process, your desires and ideas. So this person will not be born again because such a person has attained the exalted state of Brahman. The 9th one, Vijnana Sarathi Astu Manaha Pragrahavan Naraha Sodhvanah Paramapnoti Tad Vishnoha Paramam Padam. Vijnana Sarathi Yastu, whose Sarathi is Vijnana, means complete discrimination, correct discrimination, knows good over bad and chooses God over the world. And Manaha pragrahavan naraha, the mind is the good rain which is controlled, which is very steady. So advanaha, here itself, now itself, you don't have to wait for it to happen some other point in time. But if you have done this immediately, advanaha paramapnoti, he attains it here, what? Paramapadam. That highest exalted state of supreme consciousness is attained by that person here itself, because he has kept his buddhi discriminating and mind steady and pure. This person attains that Paramapadam. And what is that Padam? They say Tat Vishnoha Paramam Padam, he says. Vishnoha means not a Vishnu Bhagavan with 4 hands and chakra, gada. If you go to Vaishnava Sampradaya, you will see what you have to attain at the end. You have to see Vishnu in everything. Vasudevam Sarvamiti. You should see Vishnu in everything. But Vishnu means Vyapta. That which is all pervading is called Vishnu. Like the space is also called Vishnu. Because space is everywhere in everything. Within an atom there is space, and you take it all the way, expand it to the whole of the expanse of the universe, there is Vishnu there also. Everything is Vishnu. So that kind of idea this person attains, that I am not just this limitedness of the body, this finiteness of the mind. I am the infinite awareness, consciousness, Brahman itself. This idea comes to whom? The person who has realized this Paramapadam. And when it happens, the moment he controls his mind and discriminates with his buddhi, he attains it. So what is the obstruction between you realizing your true self, your mind and your buddhi? Don't blame the senses. Senses have no power without the energy that is provided by you. Means if you control, if you put the little check on the mind, the senses will be under control. These senses have been given for a certain purpose. The eyes are those which only see God in everything and everyone as God. Head is that which always bows down, namaskara. To whom? To God in everyone. The hands are those which are worshipping God. How? Work is worship. Yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi tu kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. This is the worship of the hands. Whatever you eat, whatever you receive, whatever you give, whatever you aspire for, everything you do it for my sake only. So these are the reasons why hands have been given. Feet have been given so it will walk towards God, not away from it. Ears have been given to listen to God's glory. Tongue has been given to chant God's name. This is the idea of why these senses have been given in the first place. We misuse it, is our problem. What is knife's fault if you use it to kill somebody? Knife has not decided to kill, you decided to kill. You cannot blame, knife is too sharp, that's why he got killed. I just wanted to give him a small scratch, but then what to do? Knife was too sharp. No, you did the mistake. So mind did the mistake. Mind is uncontrolled. It is not able to control the senses. Buddhi is non-discriminating. Therefore, Buddhi is not able to tell the mind what is right, what is wrong. And therefore, all the problems in life. It's as simple as that. Don't blame anybody for your problems in life. That is the biggest lie that you are telling yourself. That you are miserable because of somebody else is the biggest lie you tell. It's very easy to blame it on others and feel nice. Oh, that is because of them it has happened like this. I was always being good. No. Somewhere the mistake lies with you. But if you do deep analysis, you'll find out that mistakes lie with you and not with the others. So if you do that and keep your mind steady and buddhi discriminating, your horses are under control and you attain that Tad Vishnoha Paramam Padam, the highest Padam you are able to attain here itself, now itself.